Hey, what's going on, everybody? In this video, let's focus in on another guy under the radar, but somebody I think you should pay attention to in the rest of fall camp and during the season, and that's third-year sophomore cornerback Isaiah Dunson. Isaiah was a former four-star recruit. He's from Georgia. He's played 19 games coming into this season, mainly a special teams guy, but we saw in the finale last year, he got that increased playing time with the last coaching staff, and he's just kind of continued that momentum for his player development because this new coaching staff seems to have really taken a liking to him. We saw him have a pretty good spring, and he's doing well in terms of being in the depth chart, being in the mix in these top two groupings, primarily in fall camp. And even though there's a lot of experience, I do believe Isaiah's in the mix. And I think he does bring some skills to the table, a good size and length. That has been something that has been talked about since he was in high school, listed as 6'1", 186 pounds. But you can see him, when he gets his arms on the receivers, he's got good length. And I think that's what stands out. And really, he's kind of the longest corner other than the DJ Ivy. But Miami likes to have those guys. This coaching staff likes to have the versatility with the cornerback position. So the way it looks right now at cornerback, Miami's got four guys that you hear about quite a bit because they have the most experience. And that's why I'm focused on Isaiah. He's not one of those guys. He has not had a start in his career. Like I said, he's been a special teams guy. The other four guys, Tyreek Stevenson, DJ Ivy, Corey Couch, and West Virginia transfer Daryl Porter. Certainly all four of those guys are still right there, still expected to have large roles on the team. But because Miami's expected to play a lot of nickel and dime packages, they're going to need a lot of cornerbacks, a good grouping of cornerbacks to step in and play different roles. And Miami, this is different with what we saw with the previous coaching staff with what they like to do with their striker position. Miami's star position is actually designed for a defensive back, ideally that nickel back or going to that dime back. So it just basically gets another guy out there. It just means more guys have a chance to play. Isaiah is positioning himself to be one of those guys in the mix for a cornerback spot. And I think he's a guy that he might be turning the corner as a player. He might be benefiting from a new coaching staff. Whatever it might be, he's just someone that continues to stay in the mix. And you see him out there. He does pretty good during the open practice. We were able to watch one practice in its entirety, which was great to see. We got to see some one-on-one stuff. And I thought Isaiah did pretty good in the one-on-one coverage drills that I saw. So again, he's got a long ways to go in terms of catching up to some of these other guys that have a lot of experience. But again, he could just be a guy turning the corner as a player. I remember watching him a couple years ago in private workout, and he's just a guy that has continued to put in the work. And that's at least put him in this position to have a chance. And as you're seeing him after practice, he's just continuing to put in that extra work, and continue to try to do whatever he can to improve himself. And certainly as a young player trying to make a name for himself, you've got to be able to do those things. It's certainly very important. He's got an uphill battle still on getting the playing time that he wants, but all these things matter. He's got to have a good rest of fall camp. And also when games go, Bethune-Cookman, Southern Miss, those are great opportunities for a guy like Isaiah to go in and play well and really show his cover skills. That's where he's going to make, an impact. So we will see how it shakes out. You see Coach Cristobal, essentially saying good job to Isaiah for the extra work. So that's good to see as well. So again, Isaiah Dunson, I believe he's in the mix. He's got an uphill battle, but he does bring those skills to the table. I just like pointing out some of these things after practice, or these guys that we don't talk about all the time. The guys that are definitely on the rise, surprises maybe in fall camp, just guys to keep an eye on as they look to change their trajectory in their careers, have larger roles, going into this new season. So I want to thank everybody for watching. Hopefully you guys like this video, and take care.